Storm Alert Weather Center. We have additional storm warnings that are in effect. Of course, we cover Russell and surrounding counties. We've been watching this, and it's not surprising. I don't think this is going to be a big issue, something that's like started all over again. But the extreme northern part of Wayne County and the central part of Pulaski County is now under a severe thunderstorm warning. That was part of that special weather statement that was issued just a little bit ago. And even though that we're watching this, Keith, we didn't say everything was all clear. We still respected that 2 o'clock Central Time timeline of the tornado watch. We still recognize that. We simply quit our coverage because things had died down. But we've watched the storm move through, and now they've issued the storm warning for central Pulaski County. Another thing that we're watching, this cell that is in the northern part of Tennessee, it is a severe thunderstorm warning. And even though that there are no, there's no warnings in effect for Clinton County as these storms move through, it is part of that same area that I mentioned earlier when the tornado warning was in effect. And of course, that's been allowed to expire. The latest Doppler radar shows the storms as they move through Pulaski, and I'm sure that we'll probably get a little bit of grief over this about going off the air too quick, but we still acknowledged that threat for the tornado watches. Keith?
We did say, though, that if anything was to pop up, we would be back on the air on that situation, and we have. And I noticed we have a little bit of that cell to the west of Somerset has a little bit of a hail signature in it right now, so there could be a possibility of some small hail with this storm moving through that area, Daniel.
I was talking to one of my friends that they have another, it's kind of a news and a weather page that is on Facebook, and they were saying that there wasn't very many people covering this weather event as it moved through. We were about the only ones in this area. I don't know anybody else in the Lake Cumberland area that was doing it. Maybe my friend Corey Houck up in the Greene County, Taylor County area, but that's not really our coverage point. Corey does a good job keeping people informed in Greene County and up in Taylor County, and we appreciate anybody that's a credible resource for weather. We say thank you for all you do. We appreciate it. As long as you're credible. There's a lot of them out there that are not that's not credible. That's in for the hype, but we try to be there and let people know in the best way we can. It may have to be forceful sometimes, saying, folks, you need to do this, you need to do that. And but nonetheless, as we watch these storms move through Pulaski County, strong gusty winds are expected up to 60 miles per hour. The storm is moving east at 71. The National Weather Service in Jackson has indicated possible tornado in the tag of that. Let's look at the velocity mode on this storm and see what's going on. A little bit of a very, very wide circulation just to the west of Somerset, but we're not going to get everybody upset over and torn up about it. This would be the area that we're looking at, but again, we're going to simply say that is a possibility based on what the National Weather Service said. Again, this is a severe thunderstorm warning for Pulaski County. That's in effect until 3:15 on the Eastern Time Zone. That would be north central Wayne, northwestern Laurel, Pulaski, and southern Rockcastle. That's until 3:15 Eastern Time this Saturday morning. Continuing to watch the storm. That's around Birchtown, Tennessee. That is moving. That is moving right now, according to the Weather Service down in Nashville, Tennessee. The storm is still moving east, but we have seen a little bit of intensification of that as it moves into Wayne County. I do have a special weather statement. Keith, I'm sorry, I'm rattling on.
Now
we have
let's see what's going on now.
We think we have a tornado watch. I believe. I think that's going to be the case.
The Weather Service has issued tornado watch number 102 effective until 7 a.m. This watch includes the following counties in Kentucky: Knox, Laurel, McCreary, Pulaski, Rockcastle, Wayne, and Whitley.
All right, so we have a new tornado watch that has been issued. We also have a new severe thunderstorm warning, and that will be for Wayne County. That's going to take into account that cell that we've been watching. So now Wayne County is under a severe thunderstorm warning. It was just the northern part, but now pretty much all of Wayne County under a severe thunderstorm warning. And that is part of that cell that we were watching when it was way back here in Lafayette, Tennessee. And we've watched it continue to move to the east. And the same cell that moved out of Tompkinsville, I think we may be able to go back a little bit in time and show you that. And that'll be the warning that we were mentioning for Wayne County, I'm sure. Keith, that's kind of firing up over in the
National Weather Service in Jackson, Kentucky has issued a severe thunderstorm warning.
see.
Wayne County, southeastern Pulaski County.
All right, that's the one we've already mentioned. Wayne and southeastern Pulaski, a severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect, and this will be in effect for Wayne and Pulaski County as we watch these storms begin to develop and move to the east.
I've noticed that, excuse me, I'm on a Mesonet site right now, and I noticed some of the temperatures in eastern Kentucky ranges from about 65 to 71 degrees, so that's probably why we had that fire back up. Yes.
Yeah, that would be
fuel for the fire.
That'd be fuel for the fire this evening. And of course, our coverage kind of ends with Pulaski County and everything, but we will continue to monitor this weather situation and keep you updated if the need be. Let's look at the velocity on these storms down to the south. Not a lot of concern out. One of the things, and folks, this is what is troublesome, and this is not any reflection about the Weather Service or anybody at all that's in control or that knows a lot more about it than I do. All of these areas here that you see that's kind of broken up, like right along in this area, all of this, that is where there is a gap in the radar. And basically, the Weather Service struggles to determine what is happening in this area because of the radar gap. And it's very bad. One of the many places in the United States that has a gap, and where they can cannot see exactly what's going on because the radar beam is so high up in the air, and they just can't tell what's at the surface, what's going on in the lower levels of the atmosphere. But again, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning for Pulaski County, wind gusts up to 60. They say possible tornado there. It's moving to the east at 71 miles per hour. And again, we're going to end our coverage when it exits Pulaski County, unless we can see some type of reason to stay here. We'll see what the opinion is of everybody, if anyone's out there watching from those areas. Kentucky Online Breaking News has also shared our videos because said that basically not a whole lot of people were doing anything. We have 176 people that's tuned in right now. Said it's bad and static. Wind is horrible in West Somerset. 70 degrees, Jennifer Dishman says, in Albany. And as far as Albany goes, the severe threat, I think you're going to be fine because you can see there in Clinton County, all up around 76 Falls and Albany, Cumberland City, Aaron community, everything is pretty much clear, with the exception of that cell down to the south. Mill Springs, Monticello, Rocky Branch, there in Wayne County. We do have severe thunderstorm warning that's impacted that area, and then even up through Pulaski County. We have that severe thunderstorm warning moving there as well, and even up through Mill Springs. Our coverage continues right across Highway 39 up into 1677, Highway 769 that's east of Somerset. The storm beginning to impact there, just to the east of Science Hill. That's where the strongest part of the storm is located in Pulaski County. Keith, you have anything you want to add this evening for this?
Vendra Jones, I was wondering about Corbin, how is it going to affect that area?
The London area, I think Laurel County is under a severe thunderstorm warning. Laurel County is under a storm warning, and that storm warning is in effect mainly for the northwestern part of the county until 3:15 Eastern time. And now there's 17 minutes to go from that in Laurel County.
Brian Nevels wants to know, what about Pulaski-Lincoln County line around Eubank, Kentucky?
Eubank appears to be in the clear. There's no warnings in effect. The polygon is not in the Eubank community. In fact, the strongest part of the storm is located a line from Science Hill along Highway 39, just to the south of Somerset, north of Burnside, west of Shopville, and east of Nancy. So there's a stretch that runs basically crossing Highway 27, Highway 39, up through Burnside, Somerset, and to the east or to the west of Shopville. That's the main concern in Pulaski County as those storms make their way through the area. And now the latest update has those storms even moving right over Shopville and east of Somerset with the torrential heavy rains. Keith, you got anything interesting on the Mesonet that...
We can take a look right now.
I have not heard maybe you get some wind gusts or some precipitation to report. Had just almost 0.4 of an inch of rain since midnight here in the Storm Alert Center. And we're watching these storms move out of the Lake Cumberland area. The storm warning for Pulaski County till 3:15. The one for Wayne County, McCreary County, until 3:15 as well on the Eastern Time Zone. Keith?
I'm noticing the temperatures have really stayed steady out toward the west. It's still 68, 69 degrees in the mid to upper 60s out in western Kentucky, so there's not been a real big drop in the temperatures out to the west.
Well, right now, a lot of people asking about cleared areas.
Yeah.
That tornado watch is going to expire here in about 30 seconds, and we're going to bring those counties that remain, and I think that's going to be along and east of the I-75 corridor in eastern Kentucky. That's where the tornado watch will be allowed to continue, and we're going to show you those areas here in just a moment. I want to give them time to remove those watches and get us a complete, updated, and revised location of where the watches are in effect. But again, we have I want to talk about this as well. We'll remove the radar, and I want to talk about what else we have in effect in addition to the tornado watch. This will give us time for them to clear that and get the latest information out. A wind advisory that is in effect until 4 p.m. Central Time on Saturday. We can expect strong gusty winds. Could see some of the impacted blowing down tree limbs. Some power outages is very likely with this system as it moves through. And this wind advisory is in effect for basically all of the state. Eastern Kentucky, Western Kentucky, Bowling Green, E-Town, Berea, over around Pikeville. Our friends over in Jackson, Kentucky, I've lost my line of thought. The Hudson family over in Breathitt County, people that we helped during the floods, all of that area is under a wind advisory. And the tornado watch box, they've had time to remove that and to give us an update. Yeah, they should be removing this because the tornado watch actually expired at 2 a.m. and I'm sure that will be allowed to expire very soon, and the map will reflect that. And so basically Pulaski County over into eastern Kentucky would be under this tornado watch that's in effect until 6 a.m. Or 7 a.m. Eastern Time tomorrow morning. And again, people are asking about that. Russell County, Casey County, Clinton County. Wayne County is under the watch until 6 a.m. and so is Pulaski until 7. This is Eastern Time, but they still haven't removed that. They would allow that to expire. It looks like right now, the main concern is eastern Kentucky, east of our coverage area, where we have those warnings in effect, and for some reason they have not they have not removed Russell County in those in that watch area, and that should expire. I'm going to check the National Weather Service website and give you. There we go. Those counties have been removed. There's the latest information that we have as far as the watches and warnings. The yellow is the tornado watches that's in effect from Mount Vernon to Middlesboro over in eastern Kentucky, Somerset, Pulaski County, Wayne County. Tornado watch until that will be in effect until 7 Eastern time. That's for all of the yellow area, and a wind advisory until late tomorrow afternoon for the remaining part of the state. In fact, most all of the state is under this wind advisory for tomorrow. Keith, you have anything to add?
I know it's considerably cleared off to the west, so there is absolutely nothing going on to the west of us all the way out to Paducah. There's nothing going on. I'm going to check over here, see what some of the comments are that people are saying. Melissa McChrystal, I have not got any notifications or emergency warning. Now, Melissa, you have to come back and tell me where you're located at. Leave it in the comments, see where you're at.
Wayne County, somebody mentioned Wayne. Wayne County is under a storm warning until 2:15 Central, 3:15 Eastern time. And then Pulaski County is under that warning until 3:15 Eastern time, about another 10 minutes. So for Wayne County, we're going to say within the next 15 to 20 minutes, Wayne County should be clear, as well as Pulaski County. The friends over in areas such as McCreary County and the Whitley County over around Cumberland Falls State Park. That warning is in effect until 3:15 as well, and you could see some strong gusty winds associated with that storm. And the good thing about this, if you look back at the big picture, we're using the Jackson radar now. The good thing back to the west, we're not showing anything to be concerned about. Of course, that tornado watch has been allowed to expire at 2 o'clock this morning, and the threats are now right along the I-75 corridor, moving out of Laurel County. Probably as it continues to develop, we will see that hitting Highway 421 and around Mount Vernon, Kentucky, just to the east of Hazard. That's where we're showing the storms taking a direction. Some of the communities affected would be Manchester, Boonville, Annville, London, and Livingston, Kentucky. That would be the storms that's moving out of Pulaski County, and the storms that's going out of Wayne County would be impacting Bethesda, Oil Valley, Rocky Branch, Barberville, Corbin, and Manchester later on this morning if they hold together. We're going to call all clear for the following places: Casey County, Adair County, Russell County, Clinton County, and Cumberland County. And within the next 10 to 15 minutes, we will call clear for Wayne County. And for Pulaski County, we will be calling that clear in about, what would you say, another 7 or 8 minutes. We'll be calling clear for Pulaski County as well, as these storms move out of the area. So that's kind of what we're showing this morning. And Keith, it's been a good it's been a good morning. We've had a lot of people to follow us.
Yes, we do.
And a lot of activity, especially at this hour of the day. We have 135 people that's tuned in to us, and we appreciate every one of them. I was looking back on some of the data and the information on the last broadcast that we had. The first one, when we started, we had a total of 2,200 views. 2,200 views of our weather coverage this morning, last night into this morning hour, and that's humbling tonight to know that people put their trust and confidence in us. And also at this meeting, we have 131 that's following us. We have a tornado warning that has now been issued, and we're gonna.
National Weather Service in Jackson, Kentucky has issued a tornado
That will be for
Central Wayne County.
Central Wayne County and Whitley County, and that will be Wayne County, southeastern Pulaski, McCreary, and northwestern Whitley County. Again, Wayne County, southeastern Pulaski, McCreary, and northwestern Whitley County. That's in effect until 3:15. Hold on just a second. Tornado warning for east central Wayne. Now, I've got a correction here. Pulaski County is not. Repeat, Pulaski is not in the warning. I read the wrong thing. East central Wayne County, southeastern Laurel County, West Knox, central McCreary, and northern Whitley County. And this tornado warning is in effect until 3:45 Eastern Time this Saturday morning. Again, a tornado warning in effect for those counties moving to the east at 81 miles per hour. That's in effect until 2:45 this Saturday morning. Again, the counties, Russell County, all of Lake Cumberland area, Russell, Clinton, Cumberland, Adair, Casey, are all clear for weather. So if you are in those areas, you can go to bed and forget about it and not be concerned. Here is the area of circulation right over Stearns and Rocky Branch, moving across Highway 27, Stearns and Rocky Branch, Highway 1363. This is the area of concern this morning, as right up here where we're circling, the possibility of a tornado in that area. So if you are in Stearns, you should be seeking shelter. And remember, folks, you should shelter in the polygon. So if you are in this red box, you can see where the tornado warning is issued. Then that is the place that you need to shelter. You need to be in a safe place. And if you are in places such as Whitley City, Barberville, Loyal, Harlan, Hyden, and Everett, Kentucky, that's right across I-75 and the Daniel Boone Parkway, need to be in your safe place. This is a tornado warning, and it's has very strong rotation. Very strong rotation, as we can see that. That's right to the east of Rocky Branch there in Wayne County. So we have a tornado warning in effect for those areas. Keith?
I can see why exactly, Daniel, why that cell has intensified into a tornado warning due to the fact of the temperature in that area. Right now it's 70 degrees, so it's in a pocket of warm air in that area. That's why that storm has intensified.
That's very good observation, Keith, and I do appreciate that. We strive to do all we can to warn the people that are out there. Let's see, what else is live? Melissa McChrystal said nobody else is live. Well, I mean, we're doing our best to keep you all updated, and we're going to probably stay here for a few minutes until we see that things are settled out a little bit. But again, this is the area of rotation that we're seeing in Whitley, McCreary County, just to the east of Monticello, southeast of Monticello, near Stearns. You should be in your safe place. If you are in McCreary County, you need to be in your safe place, as we do have a tornado warning in effect, and you can see that bright area of circulation right over Highway 16 or 1363 rather. That is the area of circulation that we're seeing on radar just to the east of Rocky Branch in Wayne County, between Rocky Branch and Stearns, crossing Highway 27. Reflectivity will show that where the heaviest part of that storm is located, and that would be in the areas mentioned around Stearns, between Rocky Branch and Stearns. You shouldn't be on Highway 27 this morning, as it's very likely that we'd see a possible tornado in that region. Keith?
I'm still seeing in that area on my velocity right now on the radar, there is still tornadic activity just to the west of Whitley City, right in that area.
All right, so Keith, I thank you for that very good report. But the good thing now, the only thing we're watching now is the tornado warning that we mentioned, but all of the other storm warnings have been allowed to expire. So we have
that's it in the whole state of Kentucky right now. Is
the
right
only
down
thing
in
that we
area.
have. Yeah, go ahead, Keith. I'm sorry.
That's the only thing we have in the whole state of Kentucky right now is the tornado warning for down in that area right now in the state.
Yep. So over in Whitley City,
Yes.
Stearns community,
Yes.
in McCreary County. One thing about it, we probably going to wrap up after Wayne County is over with. The tornado watch box is not very big at this moment. In fact, the National Weather Service in Jackson has indicated the tornado watch to expire at 7 o'clock Central Time in the morning. Of course, our coverage area, we end our coverage between Russell and surrounding counties. And there's really not anything back off to the, in fact, there's nothing off to the west of our coverage area, like Bowling Green or Adair County, just simply rain showers. So the biggest part of that is beginning to move out. Keith, you want to talk for a second?
Yeah, I was just going to say right here to the northwest of Whitley City, that cell where that tornado has been indicated at has intensified somewhat here in the last few minutes as my radar has updated. It's continuing to move. Let me bring that up here. I'm trying to get this to come up where I can tell you something here, but it's not working. But I've noticed here in this last loop, it's moving east-northeast, but it has intensified in that area just during the last few minutes. That's like I say, with anything like this, when it comes to temperature-wise, the higher the temperature like that, more fuel for the fire, and then it's hit this pocket and it's intensified into a tornado warning. So if you're in this area, just north of Whitley City, you definitely need to take cover now. Don't mess around with this. You need to take shelter immediately. If you're in a mobile home, get out of it. If you're in a car, get to a ditch or ravine, one or the other.
All right, we've been asked about the community of Pine Knot, and if I'm not, I was right on that. Pine Knot is not in the polygon. So the person that asked about Pine Knot, you're not in a warning of any kind. The tornado concern would be north of you in McCreary County. Again, Pine Knot is not included. Stearns is included, and areas to the north, right along Highway 27, would all be included in.
Corbin also is included in that also.
Yes, that's also included.
Williamsburg.
I want to look at the velocity real quick to see how things are beginning to show up, and it's very interesting. We do have quite a bit of rotation associated with that, and the circulation continues to develop and increase. So if you are along Highway 27, and I think that and Highway 700, you definitely need to be in your safe place, right along and north of Whitley City. You need to be in your safe place. Be in a sheltering. Tell your friends. Call them. Tell them, hey, look, the Storm Alert Center is live on the air. They're doing severe weather coverage, and we have a possible tornado in McCreary County. People ask about areas to the west of there. That would be, Russell, Adair, Casey, Clinton, Cumberland, Pulaski. The threat has diminished from there. You're free to go to sleep. We're gonna stay here a little bit for the people in McCreary County. I have good friends that live there, and I want to cover for those folks. And then when that's over with, we'll probably end our coverage. Not because we want to, but there has to be a cutting off point for this. And then plus there's not many people that follows us from that area. Our saturated places is the Lake Cumberland and Green River area. So
I've just noticed that signature or that tornado on radar has just moved over. It's just passed over US 27.
Yes,
to the east side of it now.
We have seen that, and it's very interesting to watch to see how these things unfold. And it's something that I have tried my best to develop. I don't know what you would call it, to develop a knack for following the radar and everything. It's something that's it takes experience, and we're all learning. It's a learning experience, and I've been wrong several times, but at the same time we can get it right. And I'd rather be a little people take action and not need to have it happen than to need it and not take action. This is a critical thing. Highway 1045 around Marshy Siding and the road that would lead down to the falls. Some people takes Highway 90 down to Cumberland Falls, but I always take Highway 1045 out there by the Zeb Perry Road. I have good friends that live out in that region, and that's where I go to the Cumberland Falls. And right now, you are under a tornado warning in that part of of McCreary County.
This is a fast-moving cell moving east at 80 miles an hour. It's moving quick.
So it's a fast-moving storm, and we're going to stay here for a few minutes. The yellow polygons that you see, those represent the special weather statements that have been issued. And as the storms move into eastern Kentucky, there's lines all the way up through Moorhead, along the I-64 corridor, right at the beginning of the Highway 23 country music highway that stretches down from the northeastern part of the state down through Pikeville and Jenkins, Kentucky, down in Letcher County. Some of my favorite people, my friends, live in the foothills of eastern Kentucky. The only warning that we have currently in the state, as far as I can see, is this tornado warning that's in effect for the following counties. East Central Wayne, Whitley County. The severe thunderstorm warning tornado warning remains in effect until 3:45 Eastern for southeastern Laurel, northwestern Knox, northeastern McCreary, and northern Whitley County. The storm is moving to the east at 80 miles per hour. So, if you're in the path of that storm, you should be seeking shelter, especially if you're north of Williamsburg, approaching Interstate 75. If you're between Corbin and Williamsburg, you shouldn't be traveling as this storm continues to develop and moving into that particular area. Keith?
That's the only thing we've got going on in the state of Kentucky right now. We've got in the state of Tennessee, we've got 2 severe thunderstorm warnings around the Smithville and McMinnville area. That's where my sister lives. So I'm sure she's up right now listening to us on Storm Alert Center. So I just want you, if you're listening, Shayla, you got a severe thunderstorm warning out in McMinnville right now. So we'll back up here to Corbin here, and I'm going to take a look. And that tornadic signature that I see now is just to the east of Whitley City.
Well, we're looking down south of Cookeville, down, like you said, McMinnville, of those storms that's moving through. And, it's good to be able to have some personalized weather for the people there. McMinnville, Spencer, Sparta, Tennessee. Sparta, Tennessee is where the great Lester Flatt is laid to rest. He's buried in the Sparta Cemetery there in Tennessee, but just south of Cookeville, east of Smithville, Tennessee. Lester Flatt, Earl Scruggs, and all the Foggy Mountain Boys. They made it all sound really good back in the 40s and 50s.
Yes, they did.
Sure did. And Sheila, if you're listening, you do have that severe thunderstorm warning there in Tennessee, the sister of Keith Richardson. We're glad to have everybody along. If you are monitoring this morning, we're glad to have you along. Glad to see you taking interest in weather coverage.
And the next thing, she does have a tornado alert, so I'm going to get in contact with her in a few minutes and see what kind of data she's having, live data with that storm.
3:45 is the cutoff time for the tornado warning that's in effect. And when that warning is allowed to expire, then I think that we're going to call it quits. 4 hours and 7 minutes, I believe the last time I checked, was the longest that I can recall being on the Storm Alert Center when I was at Shoreline Communication, February the 8th, I believe, of 2008. I went in at 7 o'clock of the evening and remained broadcasting. This was in the month of February. And when the storms came through Red Bull and Springs and Tennessee, the northern part of the state, and they tracked up to the north, it's a big tornado outbreak. And I think I left the station as the sun was coming up. And that was a long, hard night. But it was also hard the night of the big outbreak that moved out of western Kentucky and killed a lady up in Taylor County and all kinds of stuff. So, you know, I've worn the hats of and been there for a lot of people over the years, and I don't regret anything that I've ever done to keep people informed. And now, getting back to the weather again, have about another 15 minutes for that warning that's for McCreary County. Keith?
I've just got my radar updated here, and it's moved off more. The tornadic signature has moved off more west of Whitley City. It is heading in between Corbin and Barberville right now.
Yeah, and I think they've extended that. I think maybe they've taken back some of that. They cut off some of that in Wayne County and allowed the warning to continue to run into Corbin on I-75, and that's the area right here that you're seeing where the strongest reflectivity is. This is where the possibility of a tornado would be. Just to the south of Corbin. It should be over the interstate and 25E as it continues to move into an eastward direction. So if you're in Barberville, you should be in your safe place. This is a tornado warning that is in effect, and you can see the rotation. It's very obvious where the rotation is in this particular thunderstorm as it makes its way through McCreary County and to the north of Williamsburg. Keith, it's been a very interesting day across Kentucky, across the nation. It's been a sad time down in Arkansas where we've had monster tornadoes, large wedge tornadoes, killed. I don't know how many people are dead at this point, but I think, the last account, I think, was there like 30 people killed?
Yeah, it was.
Something like that.
Yes.
I believe that's and it's horrible. And that's why that whenever I go on live and whenever Keith is with me, I don't want nobody to die on my watch. I don't want anybody to die on my my watch or get hurt. If a tornado comes, I want everybody to be in their safe place. You need to shelter in the polygon. I came up with that phrase, shelter in the polygon, and that's the red boxes. So if you're like in Corbin, you're north of Williamsburg, if you're in Barberville, and all points in between, then you should be seeking shelter. You should have already been in your safe place as these storms move through. That's the storm that's impacting that area. Keith?
Brenda Worley Jones says, thank you for staying live.
All right. Russell's clear. Everybody in the Lake Cumberland area is clear. Anything confirmed on the ground? I have family and friends in Harlan, Kentucky. I don't think there's anything there because there's no warnings. In fact, there's no concerns in Harlan County right now. You can see on the radar up there through Highway 119, down through Cumberland. There's no warnings in effect for eastern Kentucky. Let's check the the special weather statements to see. We do have a large area of concern for gusty winds, and again, that would be 4:15 this morning or 3:15, and that would be the concern there. Just as a special weather statement, which there could be storm warnings and maybe even tornado warnings issued out ahead of that. But this is what we're looking at right now, a large part, and you can see how powerful of a front this is. Look down toward the south, even in Jackson, Mississippi, up through Alabama, mainly the northern part of Alabama, have tornado warnings in effect there. Speaking of Alabama, one of my favorite meteorologists in the business is my friend James Spann. And James is such a credible weather resource for Alabamians, and they are so blessed and fortunate to have somebody with his knowledge and his demeanor. I met him in Bowling Green at a weather seminar a few years ago, and James, he autographed a picture for me, and it's sitting here in the weather studio, and I respect him a great deal for what he means, and even how he helps me occasionally if we have a big weather event and something's going on I don't understand. I can send James Spann an email, he'll respond back, and he'll say, buddy, you need to watch out, you need to be careful, blah, 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 and that's really good. Mark Weinberg in Louisville with WDRB television is another very, very intelligent individual, and I met him back in February when they were making telescope pictures of the Green Comet, and I'm not going to go into all the details of what happened that night, but Mark Weinberg is a very intelligent individual, probably one of the smartest people that I have ever met in my life. He is so knowledgeable about so many different things, and it was really good to know him and to know other people, as well as some of my friends at the Weather Service that are so good to help and to provide substantial information that's vital to surviving severe weather. That was a commercial, I guess. South of Corbin, we still have the tornado warning that's in effect. The tornado warning for northeastern McCreary County has just now been canceled. McCreary County, the tornado warning has been canceled as the storms move out of the area. Corbin and points to the south around 26 and Highway 511. You are in this tornado warning, and it's in effect until 3:45. About another 7 minutes from now. That will be southeastern Laurel, northwestern Knox, northwestern Whitley County, and the movement is to the east at 80 miles per hour. You need to shelter in the polygon. Marshy Siding is clear. Wayne County clear. Wayne County is clear, and McCreary County is clear as well, as those storms have, as you can see on radar, have moved out of that area. It's now in between Corbin and Williamsburg along Highway 75. In fact, the latest update will show the storms passing Interstate 75. Keith?
Yeah, I was just watching that here in the last few minutes, and that tornadic thunderstorm has intensified little bit as it's going over I-75, so it's going to be a quick mover. So if anybody's on I-75, you need to pull over and seek shelter, or anybody in a home, in a mobile home, anything of that sort, you need to seek shelter now and then mess around with this.
Well, it's kind of interesting to watch the weather unfold this evening. This morning, had people ask about Harlan, over around Cumberland, eastern Kentucky. There's nothing going on over there. We do have that special weather statement, and that means that, there could be something happen in that area. Strong winds, and can't rule out a tornado warning that would be in effect, that might be issued, but the main severe threat for our coverage area is beginning to diminish. And what we're going to do is probably end our weather coverage after this tornado warning expires in about 5 minutes or so. Keith?
Well, excuse me. You can take that back a minute.
Do what, Keith? Okay. All righty. So we always enjoy a good bottle of water. I tell you, that keeps
your throat gets dry.
It keeps everything lubricated, my friends. I'm telling you.
Melissa McChrystal says, we appreciate you all so much, Daniel and Keith. We appreciate you all listening to us so we can help keep everybody safe.
Well, the odd thing about this, the unique thing about it, even at this hour, we have like 80 people that's watching us, and that shows that maybe our listening base, our audience is beginning to diminish, because we're not really for eastern Kentucky. I would love to do everything from Mayfield to Pikeville, but it's a very difficult thing to do, to follow storms and to talk for 4 or 5 hours. And we did that back in 2021 during the generational tornado outbreak, and later went on to Dawson Springs and done live coverage of the damage there in that area. And it's horrible, just a horrible thing to see the things that people had to go through that awful night. And we befriended people there, and they were very respectful to our benevolence and what we were able to do, what little we were able to do to help. Keith?
Alicia Dunnigan says, thank you guys so much. Well, we appreciate you too, Alicia. We do. That's why we do this, is just to keep people safe and informed of what's going on. Because I've been doing this, been a storm spotter for about 35 years. So before I got with Daniel about 11 or 12 years ago, I was a storm spotter for the National Weather Service, which I still am. But being on air, doing this type of thing, I've never done before. But, I got kind of a little rusty on that first live broadcast we did, because it'd been a while since I've been in here. But once you get back on your bicycle, you never forget how to ride the bike. So that's how it goes.
Well, the thing about it is, it's important to me that we can be professional. I know there's people that make comments that maybe it's too much of a hype and everything. If you have watered down news and weather, if it's watered down and if it isn't puffed up, if it's not solid, then you don't have anything. Because and here's what I mean by that. If I got on Facebook and I said, well, folks, there's a tornado warning in effect for Whitley County, you all better take shelter, and then just stopped and never said anything else, and said, yeah, we better take shelter if you're over in Whitley, Curry County, or wherever, people would lose confidence. You have to be proactive. You have to keep going and have to keep telling people, because we live in a society where people are not willing to change anything. They just want to keep on doing the same thing that they're doing. And we need to change the mentality. One of the mentality things that I want to change is for people to forget about those danged old sirens that are put up in our communities. I want people to forget about those, because they are antique technology from back in the World War II days, and there's problems waiting to happen. I mean, there's people that live 3 miles from a siren, and they say, well, I didn't hear my siren go off. It didn't wake me up at 2 this morning when that storm went through. It ain't meant to wake you up at all, because it's meant for you if you're outside. Now the tornado warning has been allowed to expire, and there are no warnings in effect for Kentucky. So that's what we're seeing now, is those special weather statements that's indicating strong gusty winds. Folks, it's been an honor and a pleasure to serve this afternoon, this evening, tonight, and this morning. It's 2:45 Central Time, and we're going to break away our coverage. Keith, you have anything you want to share before we bring this day to a close?
I just want to throw a little bit on to what you were just talking to the people about there just a minute ago about these outdoor sirens. The best thing that you can have in your home or on your cell phone is have code red alert on your cell phone, and you also need to have you a weather radio in your homes or your businesses, either one. That way, when you get a warning from the National Weather Service, you'll have it there right then. Not
Exactly.
Being outside to a siren, anything of that sort. Because another thing, like we've talked about before in the past, and we've got the tornado alert, which adds to that safety and security of knowing what's going on in your area by being live and being able to see what's going on in your area. A tornado alert. And this is what I got in my personal home, a tornado alert and weather radio. I mean, that's the best thing, because before I come to the studio, I was sitting in my recliner, dead asleep, and tornado watch, the alarm went off on my weather radio, and I jumped up, and that's when I come to the studio. So it wakes you up, but that's what you need, is a weather radio and a tornado alert.
All right. And Keith, I appreciate for you coming out this tonight. I'm starting to begin to drift a little bit, but back in 2021, at 3 a.m., we were just getting started. You realize that? Because we left here, I think at 7 in the morning, and I barely remember going to bed. We're not going to continue to talk about severe weather in eastern Kentucky, but we do have a tornado warning that's in effect for southeastern Laurel, northern Knox, and southern Clay until 4:15 Eastern Time, 3:15 Central. But we're not going to continue to broadcast. Our listening base is not that great in eastern Kentucky. We're down to about 50 people that's watching us. And people ask about Harlan County. Do you think the storms will weaken? Definitely, we anticipate the storms to weaken as they enter into eastern Kentucky. We're not saying that you won't have a severe storm, but the likelihood of long track tornadoes, major severe thunderstorms, that's beginning to die down. We're not saying that it can't happen or that it won't happen. We're just saying just take it for what it's worth, and to be heads up. The thing is, Keith, I try to tell people, if you think that there's we may have a warning issued, you need to go to a safe place like before it happens, and don't wait till the last minute and send Daniel Wilson a text message. Well, I've got 2 kids. I've got 3 kids. We live in a mobile home, and we're 5 miles from sunshine or from dark, or whatever. What do we need to do? I mean, I don't know where you live. I don't know your situation. And so it's very hard. And I say all of that to say this. You need to work out your plan before this stuff happens.
Yeah, I mean, at my home, and of course Daniel is the same way, of course I've got a storm shelter that the county's put behind my house. I could go to that. But if something happens in my home, I can either go there or I can go in the middle part of my house and get in the tub and cover myself. That's the other thing that I have. But you got to have a plan in place to take heed of way before the storms come, and have that action plan ready to go.
And one thing, Keith, for a $50 bill, I'll let you get in my storm cellar. If we were ever under a warning, I would let you get in it for $50. Of course, you got to pay before you get in.
Oh, so admission to the storm shelter outside.
All right, let's wrap everything up.
Yeah.
Keith, thank you for joining me this morning and for helping with the weather coverage. I appreciate you so much, and for all you do for being there during the storm class the other night. We had at the courthouse, had a packed house, had people from all the way from London and from Tennessee, Clarksville, Tennessee, had people from that far away that came. I think that'd probably be a record.
Yeah.
I think usually it was mainly Russell County. We had people from Adair, we had people from Pulaski, and we appreciate everybody. So anyway, we do say thank you all for joining us. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. And until the next storm comes through, on behalf of storm anchor Keith Richardson, this is Daniel Wilson, the owner and the lead forecaster from the Storm Alert Weather Center, your weather authority in the Lake Cumberland, Green River area. Have a safe and pleasant